We saw some unexpected outcomes from the European elections that reflect the overall sentiment of the people in Europe. Our Hong Yu reports.
The most prominent takeaways from the European Parliament election are fragmentation and polarization. Fragmentation because the two centrist groups, the European People's Party and the Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats, lost seats to smaller parties like the Greens and a variety of populist groups. Now that these centrist groups have lost their majority, they will have to work more closely with liberal members of parliament to form a working majority. The surge in the Greens' vote was most pronounced in Germany, where climate has been a big theme, and the country has a heavy reliance on coal and other polluting energy sources. Polarization in the election saw populist and eurosceptic parties increase their share of seats to 25%, up from about 20% 5 years ago. Populists did well in the countries where they are in power, like Italy, Hungary, and Poland. As to comment on the results, the EU Commission spokesperson told a press briefing that populists did not win the election, and instead it was pro-EU forces that won the day.
But the populists didn't win this election. Contrary to doomsayers' prophecies, it is the pro-EU political forces across the political spectrum that won the day. Those who won the elections are the ones who want to work in and for Europe, not those who want to destroy Europe.
The EU had feared that fewer voters would show up as turnout has constantly dropped since the first direct elections in 1979. But this year's election was different, with polls showing the turnout rate of 50.9%, the highest in 2 decades. The biggest domestic issue was observed in the UK, where the British government's inability to deliver on Brexit caused both the Conservatives of Prime Minister Theresa May and the main opposition Labour Party to have their worst European election results in decades. With Nigel Farage's Brexit Party winning the most seats in the UK and the biggest share of the vote, some observers say the next Prime Minister is likely to be a hardline Brexiteer, who might even take Britain out of the EU without a deal. Hong Yu, Arirang News.